Earth, the third planet from the Sun, is the only planet known to have life on it. And it is the planet we live on. Over the years, increased economic activities coupled with the rapid population growth have put a strain on the environment, depleting the Earth's natural resources. Industrial pollution, soil erosion, deforestation, rapid industrialization, urbanization, and land degradation have worsened the problem due to environmental contamination. How do we then analyze these anthropogenic activities and balance its effects on humanity?
.1 to 0.12% of the Earth's crust is phosphorus, most of which are contained within rocks and minerals. That's roughly 1 part per thousand by weight. However, to be usable in plants, rain and weathering must first break down these rocks. These inorganic phosphates are then distributed through soil and water. Plants take up these inorganic phosphates in the soil and use them as nutrients to grow. When the plant is consumed by an animal, the phosphate, which is an essential component of DNA, RNA, and ATP, as well as fat and bone material, is incorporated within the organism. After the plant dies, it decays, and the organic phosphate is returned to the soil, which bacteria then break down into inorganic forms of phosphorus in a process known as mineralization. In other cases, phosphorus in the soil gets washed away through waterways and eventually oceans, where it is deposited in shallow sediments, then eventually eroded and recirculated, completing the cycle.
Elementary cycle is a type of biochemical cycle in which reservoir for the minerals is Earth's crust. This type of cycle is slow for nutrient recycling as the mineral trapped in Earth's crust. Phosphorus cycle, the cycles of phosphorus and most other elements differ from those of carbon and nitrogen. The atmosphere component is missing in the phosphorus cycle. Only rock, soil, water, and organisms are involved in the phosphorus cycle.
How do people affect this process? Humans affect the phosphorus cycle mainly by the use of fertilizers increasing livestock, especially hogs. Fertilizers and hog waste are high in phosphorus, which makes its way into the soil, where it is necessary in moderate amounts. And due to runoff in water, another factor is in the use of detergents, many of which contain sodium triphosphate or STP. The phosphate in STP, the use of which has been severely curtailed due to environmental regulations, can lead to algal blooms in water, which can kill fish and other plants. It is by these activities that we alter the phosphorus and in reality the nitrogen cycle as well.
Today, we are also going to tackle the topic invasive species. To have a deeper understanding about it, let us first define what it is. An invasive species can be any kind of living organism, an amphibian, plant, insect, fish, fungus, bacteria, or even an organism seeds or eggs that is not native to an ecosystem and causes harm. They can harm the environment, the economy, or even human health. Species that grow and reproduce quickly and spread aggressively with the potential to cause harm are given the label invasive. According to National Wildlife Federation, invasive species are among the leading threats to native wildlife. Approximately 42% of threatened or endangered species are at the risk due to invasive species. Human health and economies are also at risk from this kind of species. The impacts of invasive species on our natural ecosystems and economy cost billions of dollars each year. Many of our commercial, agricultural, and recreational activities depend on healthy native ecosystems. In the phosphorus cycle, various invasive species are sometimes introduced. One of these species is algae. Overproduction of phosphorus in bodies of water can cause massive algal blooms. According to our definition, invasive species are organisms that are not native and causes harm to their new environment. Algae are dangerous in water as it decreases the oxygen capacity of the water, which makes it difficult for the marine plants and animals to breathe. And it will eventually kill them. It can also cause problems in drinking water in communities nearby and upstream from dead zones. Harmful algal blooms release toxins that contaminate drinking water, causing illnesses for animals and humans. Another topic that we should discuss today is the effects of mining in our ecosystem. The difference between this topic and the other one is that this threat is caused by humans. Phosphate rocks are one of the most essential materials today. Most of the phosphorus used in fertilizer comes from phosphate rock, a finite resource formed over millions of years in the Earth's crust. 90% of the world's mined phosphate rock is used in agriculture and food production, mostly as fertilizer, less as animal feed and food additives. However, severe environmental impacts have been induced, including rock desertification, poor forest stand structure, loss of biodiversity, and aesthetic depreciation of the landscape. It pollutes our air, contaminates our water, and destroys invaluable wildlife habitat. The phosphate rock mining had greatly changed the landform and thus induced geological hazards.
The main function of phosphorus is in the formation of bones and teeth. It plays an important role in how the body uses carbohydrates and fats. It is also needed for the body to make protein for the growth and repair of the cells and tissues. However, too much phosphate can be toxic. High levels of phosphorus can affect your body's ability to effectively use other minerals such as iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc. It can combine with calcium, causing mineral deposits to form in the muscles. Extra phosphorus can also cause body changes that pull calcium out of your bones, making them frail. High phosphorus and calcium levels also lead to dangerous calcium deposits in the blood vessels, lungs, eyes, and heart.
What can be done to mitigate this? Here are some points to remember for the best management practices for phosphorus in the environment. Phosphorus pollution from agricultural runoff can seriously impact water quality. Reducing phosphorus inputs to our surface waters will improve the quality of water. Reducing direct runoff also reduces phosphorus runoff as well as reducing soil erosion. Know your soil and manure phosphorus levels through testing and analysis. Match fertilizer and manure phosphorus to needs since it makes economic and environmental sense. Lessening pesticides and fertilizers used in agriculture and cleaning our waste facilities and plants. Lastly, do not over-apply fertilizer or manure phosphorus on sites adjacent to bodies of water.
Now that we know the importance of analyzing human activities and its anthropogenic effects in the environment, what can you do to minimize its adverse effects? Let us know in the comments down below.